Time is unlike any other resource you have. You can earn more money, gain more knowledge, or acquire more skills, but time, once it passes, is gone forever. Mastering your 24 hours begins with understanding the profound value of each minute. Many people complain about being busy, yet they fritter away hours on activities that give nothing in return. Recognizing that every day contains exactly 440 minutes is the first step toward genius-level productivity. If you learn to treat each minute as sacred, your life will begin to shift. Awareness of time scarcity forces clarity in decision making and creates a natural urgency to prioritize what truly matters. Geniuses know that not all tasks are equal. Mastery of time demands the ability to separate the essential from the trivial. The key is ruthless prioritization. You must ask yourself daily, which tasks will make the biggest difference in my life? Which actions align with my long-term goals? Many people waste energy on low-impact activities, scrolling social media, endless emails, or shallow distractions. By focusing on the few things that matter most, you create leverage. Your effort produces maximum results. True mastery involves saying no to 1,000 small things so you can say yes to the one thing that propels your life forward. The genius doesn't simply work hard, they work wisely. Mastering your 24 hours requires deliberate structure. Geniuses do not drift through the day reacting to events. They design their hours with intention. Mornings are often the most productive because the mind is fresh and undistracted. Use this time for deep work. Afternoon hours may suit tasks that require interaction or creativity, while evenings are ideal for reflection, learning, or rest. Break your day into purposeful blocks. Assign specific tasks to each and honor these boundaries. By structuring your hours, you minimize wasted time, reduce stress, and maximize output. It is not enough to simply have a schedule. You must live by it consciously, treating each hour as a building block of achievement. Even geniuses evaluate themselves daily. To master your time, you must consistently reflect, how did I spend my day? Did my actions align with my goals? Reflection allows you to identify wasted time, recognize patterns, and improve your strategies. Without reflection, habits, both productive and destructive, go unnoticed. The most effective people in the world maintain journals, track their progress, and learn from both success and failure. Improvement is incremental. Mastering your 24 hours is not about perfection, but about conscious, continuous refinement. Each day provides an opportunity to apply lessons from yesterday and make tomorrow better. Time is the most democratic resource that exists. Every human being is given exactly 24 hours each day. There are no exceptions, no shortcuts, and no ways to borrow it from someone else. It is a level playing field in the truest sense, yet few truly understand its value. Most people treat time carelessly, believing it to be abundant, believing that tomorrow or next week will provide another opportunity to do what should be done today. The harsh truth is that time is the only resource that cannot be replenished. Money can be earned again, opportunities can be recreated, and knowledge can be relearned, but once a moment passes, it is gone forever. Understanding this simple fact is the first step toward mastering your 24 hours like a genius. When you begin to internalize the finite nature of time, a shift occurs in your thinking. Every minute, every hour becomes a precious commodity, and with this awareness comes the ability to make better choices. Many people underestimate the value of small increments of time. They assume that only large blocks of hours or days matter, but the reality is that the cumulative effect of minutes wasted determines the trajectory of life. A single hour spent on distraction may seem inconsequential, yet repeated daily, it can amount to hundreds of lost hours over a year. Conversely, one focused hour of deliberate action can create momentum, generate results, and open doors that were previously invisible. Geniuses recognize this principle intuitively. They do not wait for ideal conditions or perfect moments. They understand that each day is composed of moments, and how those moments are used ultimately defines success. Every minute carries potential to create, to learn, to grow, to build relationships, and to progress toward meaningful goals. Treating these minutes with care is not a matter of discipline alone, but of deep understanding that time itself is sacred. The way people perceive time often determines their effectiveness. Those who view it as limitless tend to procrastinate, distract themselves with trivial pursuits, and fail to achieve their ambitions. On the other hand, those who respect time, who treat it as a finite and precious resource, make intentional choices and achieve remarkable results. Awareness of the value of time is more than a motivational idea. It is a practical tool for daily living. When you begin to see each hour as a finite gift, you naturally start eliminating activities that drain your energy without providing any return. You begin to question, does this matter? Will this move me forward? Is this how I want to spend my life? This kind of questioning is not pessimistic, it is liberating. It clears the clutter of unimportant tasks and allows you to focus on actions that have lasting significance. Another critical aspect of understanding time is the recognition that it is neutral. Time does not judge, it does not reward, and it does not punish. It simply moves forward, relentlessly, whether we pay attention or not. Every second that passes is an opportunity, either used wisely or wasted. Genius, level time mastery comes from the ability to observe this reality without complaint and take deliberate control over how each moment is spent. It requires honesty, self-awareness, and a willingness to make tough decisions about priorities. Many fail not because they lack resources, intelligence, or talent, but because they mismanage their 24 hours. They live reactively, responding to urgencies and distractions, rather than proactively shaping their day according to purpose and intention. Finally, recognizing the preciousness of time also cultivates urgency. When you grasp that time cannot be replenished, you naturally develop a sense of responsibility toward your life. This urgency is not panic or stress, it is clarity of focus, a quiet but powerful drive to act on what truly matters. Each day becomes an opportunity not to be squandered, but to be invested wisely. Mastery of your 24 hours begins with this mindset, a reverence for the time you are given, a commitment to use it deliberately, and a recognition that every moment is a building block of your future. Those who understand and honor this truth live differently. They achieve more, create more, and leave a legacy because they refuse to let time slip through their fingers. Prioritization is the cornerstone of mastering your 24 hours each day. Yet it is a skill that few develop consciously. Most people approach their daily tasks with little thought, reacting to whatever demands attention rather than deliberately choosing what deserves it. This approach creates a life of business without progress, activity without achievement, and effort without meaningful results. To live like a genius, you must learn to distinguish between what is essential and what is trivial. Essential tasks are those that move you closer to your long-term goals, strengthen your character, or add real value to your life and the lives of others. Trivial tasks, on the other hand, are often disguised as urgent. They scream for attention, but ultimately contribute little to your growth or purpose. The ability to identify and focus on the few tasks that truly matter is what separates the average from the exceptional. Ruthless prioritization begins with clarity of purpose. You cannot decide what is essential without first knowing what you are aiming for. Every day should be guided by your larger objectives, whether they are personal, professional, or intellectual. A person without clear priorities drifts through the day, consumed by minor distractions and external pressures. They respond to emails, messages, and interruptions without considering whether these activities align with their goals. In contrast, someone who masters their 24 hours filters every task through the lens of purpose. They ask themselves, does this action bring me closer to my objective? Does it honor my time and energy? Is this worthy of the precious hours I have today? These questions act as a sieve, separating the tasks that will shape their future from the noise that only wastes it. The challenge, of course, is that prioritization requires discipline and courage. Saying no to a task or request can feel uncomfortable, even socially awkward, but it is necessary for excellence. Every commitment you accept consumes time that could be spent on something more meaningful. Geniuses understand this trade-off intuitively. They are willing to disappoint in the short term so they can achieve in the long term. This does not mean ignoring responsibilities or being careless. It means making conscious decisions about where to invest your energy. By focusing on the few tasks that have the greatest impact, you create leverage. Your effort produces results far greater than the sum of its parts. Another critical aspect of ruthless prioritization is the ability to resist distraction. Modern life offers constant temptations that erode focus: social media, entertainment, trivial conversations, and minor obligations that do not advance your goals. Each of these may seem harmless, but when accumulated over days, weeks, and months, they consume enormous amounts of time and energy. Mastery of your 24 hours requires vigilance. You must guard your attention as if it were a valuable asset, because in truth it is. Focused effort on meaningful tasks yields far greater returns than scattered attention on many inconsequential ones. Discipline is not about deprivation. It is about channeling your efforts where they produce the greatest benefit. Geniuses also understand that prioritization is dynamic. What is essential today may not be essential tomorrow. Circumstances change, goals evolve, and opportunities arise unexpectedly. Effective prioritization requires flexibility, the ability to reassess and adjust continuously while maintaining alignment with your long-term vision. This does not mean constantly chasing every new trend or distraction. Rather, it means evaluating each day with honesty and intention, ensuring that your actions reflect your most important objectives. Reflection and awareness are integral to prioritization because they prevent you from falling into autopilot, performing tasks mechanically without considering their true value. Finally, ruthless prioritization is not simply a productivity strategy. It is a mindset. It is the recognition that your time is finite, that not all activities are equal, and that deliberate choice determines the trajectory of your life. By consistently focusing on what moves you forward and eliminating what does not, you free yourself from the tyranny of business and create space for growth, achievement, and fulfillment. This principle transforms ordinary days into extraordinary ones, not by working harder, but by working smarter. The genius does not do more things, they do the right things. Every decision about how to spend your hours becomes an act of creation, a step toward mastery, and a demonstration of respect for the most valuable resource you have, your time. Structuring your day is the difference between wandering aimlessly through time and navigating it with purpose and intention. Every hour you live can either serve as a stepping stone toward your goals or dissolve into insignificance, and the genius understands that structure is the framework through which productivity, creativity, and focus are achieved. A day without design is a day surrendered to chaos. Many people allow their schedules to be dictated by external circumstances, reacting to interruptions, responding to messages, and attending to urgencies rather than deliberate priorities. Such a day is like a ship at sea without a compass, drifting wherever the currents take it. To master your 24 hours, you must take the role of strategist in your own life. Each hour must have a purpose, each block of time an intention, and each activity a clear reason for its presence in your day. The morning hours are often the most critical for structured productivity. This is the period when your mind is fresh, your energy is high, and distractions have not yet accumulated. Genius-level performers capitalize on this natural advantage, reserving their early hours for deep, focused work, the tasks that require concentration, creativity, and problem-solving. This is the time to engage in activities that shape the trajectory of your life, such as learning, planning, or producing work that moves you closer to your long-term objectives. By allocating your mornings to high-value tasks, you are making a conscious investment of your best energy into outcomes that matter. Neglecting this period, on the other hand, often leads to the day being consumed by reactive and less meaningful activities. Structuring your day also involves understanding the natural rhythms of your mind and body. Not all hours are equal in energy or efficiency. While mornings may be ideal for deep work, afternoons might be better suited for tasks that require collaboration, communication, or execution. Evenings, when your mind is more reflective and introspective, can be reserved for reviewing progress, journaling, planning, or engaging in activities that foster growth and rest. By aligning your tasks with your natural rhythms, you maximize productivity without exhausting yourself unnecessarily. This approach requires careful observation of your own patterns and a willingness to experiment with schedules until you find what consistently works best for you. Another critical element of structuring your day is the deliberate use of time blocks. Time blocking involves assigning specific hours to specific tasks, creating boundaries that protect focus and prevent distraction. When each hour has a designated purpose, you eliminate the inefficiency of switching between unrelated activities, reduce procrastination, and increase the likelihood of completing meaningful work. Time blocking is not about rigidity, it is about intentionality. It is the conscious choice to tell yourself, during this hour I will do this task, and I will not be sidetracked by anything else. This practice cultivates discipline, clarity, and efficiency, allowing you to achieve in hours what others struggle to accomplish in days. Equally important is the management of interruptions and distractions. Genius-level time management is not just about filling hours with tasks. It is about protecting those hours. Phone notifications, unnecessary meetings, and trivial obligations are the enemies of structured productivity. By creating boundaries, setting clear limits, and informing others of your dedicated time, you reclaim control over your schedule. This does not mean isolating yourself from collaboration or connection, but it does mean distinguishing between what is urgent and what is essential, and giving your attention only to what aligns with your goals. Finally, structuring your day requires foresight and reflection. Planning is not a one-time activity. It is a daily practice of designing your hours with intention and reviewing them to ensure alignment with your priorities. Each day should be approached with a sense of strategy. What will I accomplish today that moves me forward? Which hours must I guard fiercely? Where can I create space for growth, rest, and reflection? Structure transforms time from a passive flow into an active instrument of achievement. It allows you to operate not reactively but proactively, to shape your life through deliberate action rather than surrendering it to circumstance. The genius does not leave their day to chance. They engineer it, carefully crafting each hour to maximize productivity, focus, and progress. When every hour is treated with respect and purpose, the 24 hours you are given become a powerful tool for success, mastery, and the realization of your potential. Reflection is the secret engine behind sustained growth, mastery, and the intelligent use of time. It is not enough to simply go through the motions of each day, completing tasks and responding to circumstances. One must pause, observe, and evaluate how time was spent and what was accomplished. Without reflection, progress is blind, and mistakes are repeated endlessly. Continuous improvement begins with an honest assessment of daily actions. By examining where your time went, what yielded results, and what was wasted, you gain insight into patterns of behavior, inefficiencies, and missed opportunities. Reflection is a mirror for the mind, revealing truths about your habits, your priorities, and your level of discipline. It allows you to see not just what you did, but why you did it, and whether it was in alignment with your long-term goals. Geniuses understand that reflection is not a passive activity, but an active process of inquiry and learning. Each day is an experiment, and each hour offers data about what works and what does not. By maintaining this perspective, you begin to treat time as a laboratory for personal growth. Journaling is one of the most effective tools for this process because it forces clarity of thought and accountability. Writing down your daily achievements, challenges, and observations transforms abstract experiences into concrete lessons. Over time, patterns emerge. You begin to notice which habits lead to progress, which activities drain your energy, and which decisions consistently move you closer to your objectives. This awareness empowers you to adjust your strategies, focus on high-leverage tasks, and eliminate time-wasting behaviors that previously went unnoticed. Continuous improvement also relies on the understanding that mastery is incremental. No one achieves genius overnight, and no single day is enough to perfect one's use of time. Each day provides an opportunity to refine habits, adjust priorities, and experiment with new approaches. By embracing a mindset of gradual, consistent improvement, you release the pressure of perfection and instead focus on steady progress. Small, deliberate changes compound over time, producing outcomes that often surpass initial expectations. The person who masters their 24 hours treats each day as a building block, learning from the successes and failures of the previous day to construct a stronger, more effective tomorrow. Another critical aspect of reflection is the capacity for honest self-assessment. It is easy to fall into the trap of self-deception, telling yourself that your day was productive while ignoring the hours lost to distractions, procrastination, or low-value tasks. Geniuses confront reality without excuses. They recognize that time misused cannot be reclaimed, and that every wasted hour is a lesson in what not to do. This honesty is empowering rather than discouraging, because it illuminates the areas where effort should be redirected. Reflection allows you to separate emotion from action, to objectively evaluate whether your daily routines align with your ambitions and values, and to make adjustments with clarity and purpose. Reflection is also a gateway to creativity and innovation. By stepping back and analyzing your experiences, you gain perspective on problems, generate new ideas, and uncover opportunities that are not visible in the rush of action. Without reflection, you are trapped in repetitive cycles, reacting to the same challenges without developing new solutions. With it, you engage in a dynamic process of learning, adapting, and improving, allowing each day to be more effective than the last. The art of reflection turns ordinary experience into extraordinary insight, transforming the raw material of time into deliberate action and meaningful accomplishment. Finally, continuous improvement requires consistency. Reflection should not occur sporadically or only at the end of a project. It should be a daily practice, integrated into your schedule as intentionally as any other high-priority task. By reviewing your actions, learning from your choices, and adjusting your approach regularly, you cultivate a level of self-awareness and effectiveness that multiplies over time. Mastery of your 24 hours is not a static achievement but a living, evolving process. Each day offers the opportunity to refine, optimize, and elevate how you use your time. The individual who commits to reflection and continuous improvement does not merely manage hours, they transform them into instruments of progress, personal growth, and lasting success. Through disciplined reflection, awareness, and adaptation, every 24 hours becomes not just a measure of time, but a canvas upon which a life of purpose, achievement, and genius is created.